By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Good morning, good morning. John Boy, the U.S. Piper, waking up with you. It may be lunchtime by the time I get it uploaded, but I hear you, dog. Hush! She's talking. Talking. That's her thing. Still breaking in my Missouri Meerschaum Missouri Pride. Got a little C&D epiphany going on. Still getting to know this one a little. It's supposed to be a take of the old Revelation blend. And it is interesting. Interesting concoction. But anyway, this isn't about that. I digress. Woke up this morning, had my breakfast, was drinking my coffee, and decided to check in on the YouTube and check my YouTubes and just see what everybody had going on. And I realized, oh yeah, it's International Pipe Smokers Day. So great. There should be some new videos. And sure enough, Tim, WharfeValleyBoy, had his GAW today that I did do an entry for, and he had his drawing, and so I was like, oh, I'll watch that, we'll see who won, I'll send him a congratulations or something, and goes through the whole thing. Holy crap, I won. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm humbled and thankful for a chance to try all those blends I haven't tried before, which is a really nice assortment of tobaccos from his cellar. A really generous assortment. So we'll get a bunch of videos out of that, because I have not had one of those before, believe it or not. And here's the freaking awesome part. I know, it's awesome. She agrees, apparently. I've been window shopping Meerschaums for a while, but I haven't really found anything in my budgetary constraints that really would scratch that itch. But it's a notch I've wanted to fill for a while. I've never had a Meerschaum. I know, it's hard to believe. But there's a wonderful, very lightly smoked Meerschaum estate. And it's exactly the style of pipe that I was looking for. It's a non-filtered, kind of a bent billiard, really nice. Like, I didn't want anything really fancy or ornate. I just want a good, solid workhorse Meerschaum. And that would have been what I would have picked if I could have found the perfect estate for myself and a nice Meerschaum. And it has the little case and everything with it to protect it. And that's just... it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. So I'm very excited to get my first Meerschaum. And a really nice selection of tobaccos to try out, and I'll share that with y'all. And yeah, it's just freaking awesome. It's like Christmas has made a second round here this morning. Wasn't expecting any of that, but wow. Yeah, I don't know. What can you say to that? It was very generous GAW, I felt like. Wonderful assortment. I didn't figure I would win. I just watched because I thought, well, I'll send a congratulations to whoever won. Let's see who won it. And then it was me. I was like, holy crap. So yeah, I've never won anything on YouTube or the YTVC before, so that's pretty freaking awesome. And quite a sizable amount of awesome. That'll be a great day when that arrives. It will be Christmas, part 2. So thanks again. I'm going to put WharfeValleyBoy's channel in the box. If you haven't subbed him already, go ahead and sub him. He's a really cool dude. Great channel. Does snuff reviews too, which is something I really haven't thought about. I think I tried it one time in Boy Scouts years ago. Somebody had some, and I remember we all tried it, and I thought, huh. And that was my one time I ever experienced that. And I remember years later in antique shops coming across like the vintage, snuff boxes of yesteryear, and thinking, that's really cool. And, I didn't know what some of them were right away. And I really liked them, but I didn't know what I would do with them, kind of thing, so I never did pick any up. But it's just one of those things that I think it carries on a little bit better overseas than it has over here. I don't know if it never caught on as much here, or if it just dropped off, because when cigarettes took hold in America, it's just kind of like they almost were the replacement tobacco for a lot of people, I think, in the 20s and during and after World War I and II, especially by World War II. It just seemed like, that just took hold. And by the end of World War II, it was pretty much cigarettes and really crappy light beer, made rice water, Which the funny story behind that is that grains were very much rationed during the war. So it was a lot cheaper to buy rice than it was wheat. And you had a large woman-driven workforce that was earning money for the first time in the factories and stuff, because all the men were at war, and they actually ended up preferring the better deal and the lighter flavor and texture of light beers that were rice-based. And that's why a lot of American beer is, unfortunately, like your Buds and Bud Lights, not to knock anybody's favorite, but compared to like a traditional, like a Sam Adams or a stout beer or a dark ale, I mean, they're like water comparatively. But that's where that kind of transition came about culturally, as far as what popular beer was. And after the war was over, the women were kind of buying the groceries and doing most of the shopping, and were making more of the decisions, because that had just become something they did. And the men were back from war, and they didn't care as long as there was beer in the fridge. So it just kind of continued on, so little slice of weird American changes. But, the cigarettes were kind of the same way. I think in the early days of them, they were probably something a very small percentage of people enjoyed. And it became more and more, less and less of somebody with a silver-plated cigarette case, kind of cachet, and more just it was easier. You didn't have to keep up with a pipe. You didn't have to worry about if my pipe gets broken. You could bum a cigarette from somebody. You can't bum a pipe from somebody. It's just, for whatever reason, it just took off culturally and almost erased everything that came before and its popularity. And I think snuff was one of those that got wiped out kind of early on for some reason. It just, it wasn't a large, it didn't seem to ever be culturally as large over here as I think it was overseas. And apparently still does have a lot of people that do enjoy it overseas. So that's been interesting for me on his channel to see that there still is a culture that embraces that particular aspect of tobacco. So I didn't even know that was still a thing, and it is. So, things you learn by subbing other people all over the place that are pipe smokers and into other things. So definitely give him a sub. Again, thank you for the generous GAW. I'm looking forward to it. And wow, yeah, I didn't expect that today. It ended up being like Christmas Part 2 over here. So I'm going to finish smoking this pipe after I let these crazy dogs out, because it's kind of doing this kind of rain. It kind of was snow, and now it's kind of like semi-frozen rain. And so that's probably why they're barking. Is, hey, it sucks out here, let us in. So I should go do that. I love you guys. I got another video talking about Epiphany a little bit that I'm still just trying to wrap my mind around. I like it. I just don't know if I really like it or I kind of like it. But I've got a video talking a little bit about it, just because it seems like the thing that popped up a few years ago. Everybody talked about it, and then nobody's talking about it now. So it's an interesting take on an old classic blend, so I figured it was worth doing a short video on. So let me edit that together, and I'll try to throw that up there sometime this afternoon, perhaps. Y'all have a blessed day. The U.S. Piper out. Happy International Pipe Smoking Day.